John Morton, Kelvin Shepard, praise. They coached out of their minds today as the Detroit Lions picked up their first win of the season, winning 52-21. They destroyed the Chicago Bears. Now, they looked like the 2024 Lions today. They did. I have so much more confidence heading into the Baltimore Ravens game today than I just did yesterday. I was to the point yesterday where I'm like, if we do not play like we did against Dallas, Jacksonville, and Tennessee like we did last year, and we do not put up that type of performance today, I'm like, there's just no way. There's like a less than 5% shot that we beat the Baltimore Ravens. That's probably a stretch, but around 10% shot is all that we beat Baltimore next week if we do not play like that. And well, what do you know? They play like that. They played like what they played against versus Jacksonville last year. In my opinion, Jacksonville was our best showing last year. I think this will probably be our best showing this year when it comes to defense and offense playing as a whole. It might not be the biggest deficit of a win this season potentially by us, but when you watch the film, I think it's going to show that this was the most dominating performance we'll possibly have this whole entire season. I mean, John Morton, man, you got to keep it up, obviously, but he coached out of his mind today. It's crazy because we played an extra preseason game this year. I had 4 preseason games in week 1. He did not have a good coaching game in any of those games. Obviously, preseason. Week 1 is finally working with the offense and his first game with the Lions. But my God, in his 6th game with the Detroit Lions, if you count the preseason, was the one that really sparked. I mean, all of those first 5 games, including the preseason, were almost abysmal performances by his play calling. But this one, what a complete 360 by John Morton. And Kelvin Shepard didn't coach great either during the preseason or week 1, especially week 1. But he also coached out of his mind today. And I'm going to say something. I think Kelvin Shepard, the performance he put up today on the defensive side of the ball, was arguably just as good as Aaron Glenn's best performance that he put up in his whole entire tenure with the Detroit Lions as defensive coordinator. I'm saying it. I told you when we hired or promoted Kelvin Shepard to defensive coordinator that he could be better than Aaron Glenn. And I predicted that, and I still think he very well could be, especially after this performance. But John Morton, love what you did today. The Lions won 52-21. They won by 31 points on the day. Jared Goff played decent last week, played out of his mind today. That's 82%. He went 23 for 28, 334 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. That's the 3rd game in Goff's tenure with the Detroit Lions where he's thrown 5 touchdowns. He played out of his mind today. Was accurate as can be. Was like, I think, just over 50% to start the game within his first 10 attempts. And then to end the game, was like 16 for 16 or 17 for 17 on his passes. He absolutely balled out today. And Jared Goff, in my opinion, off the top of the head, the best performance he has thrown up with the Detroit Lions was against Buffalo last year. I do think he threw a pick against Buffalo last year, but he was just continuing to throw dimes, darts, downfield, midfield, short passes last year. That's what Goff looked like today as well. Not quite as much today. I don't think he played quite as good as what he did against Buffalo last year. Was a little bit inaccurate on his deep balls today. Especially there was one to J-Mo. It was might have been a deep route, but I think it was a deep out is what it was. It was a short pass, and then he overthrew J-Mo on one, but it was kind of on J-Mo as well as J-Mo lost his shoe. So, besides that, Goff, phenomenal today. Jahmyr Gibbs looked much better today than he did yesterday. Now, he did break a couple of these runs, which helped a lot, but he looked a lot better today. 12 for 94, 7.8 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Monty looked like his early 2024 season self. You remember at the beginning of the 2024 season, before he suffered that injury against the Vikings, I believe in the first game, he was looking like the best running back in the whole entire league, one of the best for sure. I'm not saying he looked like that today, but he looked like a great running back again. Because keep in mind, once he came back from that injury that he suffered against Buffalo, after he came back from that Minnesota injury where he got hurt, he played okay. But once he got hurt again in the Buffalo game and came back, he just didn't look the same. He looked slow. He looked like he couldn't break a tackle. He returned to his great self again. I don't know about that elite status like what he started last year, but he played very good again today. Raymond 1 for 9 on a jet sweep. St. Brown, they had run the ball up the middle 2 for 7 times. I don't like us doing that, I'm going to be honest. Only thing I didn't like from John Morton today. If you're going to run it with St. Brown, only run it 1 time per game. Don't give him multiple carries. I'm not trying to have him get hurt. Jared Goff had a rush for 6 yards. Craig Reynolds came in late in the game, had 3 for 4 when the bench players and Kyle Allen and those guys came in. Kyle Allen did not have any passing statistics. St. Brown, what a day by St. Brown. One of his best performances as a Detroit Lion. Probably a top 3 performance for him in his NFL career. 9 for 115, 3 receiving touchdowns, 3. That is a career high now for St. Brown. That's the most he's had in a single game. And I believe 115 puts him in the top 5, a top 5 game for him in receiving yards as well. What a day by Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had a drop in there as well. It was tight coverage, but I think it ended up being a drop, so he would have had more around 130 yards and 10 catches. He balled out today, but pulled a lot in. He looked like he was just trying to get that revenge against Ben Johnson. Jamison Williams, this is one of the most craziest stat lines I've ever seen. 2 for 108 and a touchdown. I mean, J-Mo, dog. His speed, his athleticism, he should have had more than that, too, because Goff should have connected on Goff's only bad throw of the day. Should have connected to J-Mo on that one, and it would have been like a 30-yard catch. So J-Mo realistically could have had 3 for like 135, 140 and a touchdown. J-Mo, very good day today. Way to get your bag, man. Way to put up a performance right after getting that bag. Tesla, man. 1 for 29. Had another OBJ-type style catch. I don't think it was quite as good as last week. And it led us to getting a final 5-second touchdown drive and to end the half in the first half. It led to that. What a catch by Tesla, man. Again, I don't think it was quite as good as last week, but it was another phenomenal catch. It's by far the best 2 catches to a player's first 2 catches in NFL history. There's no doubt about it. I don't even know if I worded that right. But Isaac Tesla, his first catch, I believe, will be the best first catch by a receiver of the first catch in NFL history. And same goes for his second catch. I mean, he's going to be an absolute dog, man, especially when it comes to contested catches. I think he might end up being better than Kenny Golladay. Obviously, I didn't get to see Calvin play, but I think he might end up being Kenny Golladay, who, in my opinion, has been our best contested ball receiver that I've watched. I mean, Marvin Jones is up there too, but in my opinion, Kenny Golladay was the best. And I think Tesla has a chance to overtake that from what I've seen so far. Brock Wright had himself a day. 3 for 28 in the touchdown. Shout out to Brock Wright, man. Already on pace to beat his statistics from last season. Just had under 100 receiving yards last year, and he had 2 touchdowns. Already on pace to beat that with his performance today. Sam Laporta, only 3 for 26, but he looked good when he was out there. Khalif Raymond, a little bit of a disappointing day. 1 for 14. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 for 10. Monty, 1 for 4. We did not do like any dink and dunk passes today. I think we maybe did a total of 1 or 2 on the day. I think we did 1 to Gibbs and 1 to Laporta. That's all we did today. I love that we did not do dink and dunk passes today. On defensive side of the ball, it was a struggle first half, but what a turnaround second half. Branch had himself a day. He had a sack. I believe he made a couple nice plays in the run game and pass game. He balled out of his mind today. He looked like an all-pro safety and one of the best safeties in the league like he is today. He balled out of control, and he also had a roughing the passer call that, in my opinion, was not a good call. He was really trying to make a play. He was trying to bat the ball away from Caleb Williams. It actually would have resulted in Terrion Arnold's first career interception. Arnold did come up with a pick, but then the ref, Land Clark, ended up throwing a roughing the passer call on Brian Branch. I think it was actually a hit to the helmet was what caused the penalty. But I really didn't see enough forceful contact to the helmet for that to be a penalty. And there was really, Branch could not do anything about it. So that penalty was not on Branch at all. He played out of his mind today. Terrion Arnold, like I said, should have had his first career interception today. You take that away though, he did not have a great day today. Got beat a couple times in coverage, specifically on Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze was really the only good player for the Bears today on both sides of the ball. Terrion Arnold, I still think he's got lots of potential. I'm hoping he can continue or show what he put up during training camp soon here within the regular season because we haven't seen it quite yet. But Terran Arnold, he still looked better than he had last season by all means, but I still haven't seen that training camp self, what apparently coaches and stuff like that were talking about what he looked like during training camp. Still have not seen that throughout the first 2 games. Decent day, though, from Terran. DJ Reed looked great today. He looked great, made lots of good plays in the run game, and was very sticky in coverage as well. Obviously, got to rewatch the film, but from what my initial reaction was in watching the game for the first time, he played phenomenal. Alex Anzalone had a pretty decent day. Jack Campbell, pretty decent day as well. Al-Quadin Muhammad might have played his best game with the Detroit Lions. They still had Muhammad rushing up the middle a couple times. John Morton didn't love that he gave the ball to St. Brown twice. And I didn't love that Kelvin Shepard put Muhammad up the middle a couple times. Those are the only things by John Morton and Kelvin Shepard I didn't like this game. They did put Muhammad up the middle 2 or 3 times this game. But for the most part, they put him back on the edge, which is where he belongs. He's only 249 pounds, 250 pounds. So I don't know why they keep putting him up the middle, but they did primarily put him in the edge this game. Played phenomenal. Should have had at least 2 sacks on the day. He ended up getting 1, his first sack of the season. He looked great today. He really, really did. When I mean great as an edge 3. We still need that edge 2, and I'll talk about the guy who is currently our edge 2 here in a minute. Derek Barnes, quiet day from Barnes. I got to rewatch the film on him. Really didn't see him out there that much. Did have 6 tackles, but it seemed like a quiet day from him. Not in a bad way by any means. It just didn't seem like he stuck out in it by any means. Pat O'Connor had an okay day in the run game. Was not great in the pass rush, though. Kirby Joseph got his first interception on the day. I believe Hutch was about to get a sack, and then Williams got out of the sack, was throwing it away, I think trying to get it to Olamide Zaccheaus, and he overthrew it. Joseph made a great diving interception. Joseph getting his first interception of the season. He did play, obviously, this game. Was questionable heading into it, but was able to play and played very good today. Now, he did come out late in the game. I don't know if he just re-aggravated his injury or the Lions were just sitting him. I don't know. I'm assuming they just sat him, but that's something to monitor. But I think we're going to be good there, and Joseph had a great day. Zach Cunningham came out there late in the game. Didn't love what I saw from him, but again, got to rewatch the film, and again, it's garbage time, so it really don't matter. Hutchinson got his first sack back with the Detroit Lions today. He looked like his old self today. Should have had another sack or 2. He should have had this for sure 1 when Williams was able to get out of it. Could have had 2, 2.5 today easily. He looked like his old self today. I'm so glad he was able to get a sack. I thought when his full sack that he got, I thought it was only going to be half, as I thought they were going to give the other half to Al-Quadin Muhammad, but they did give the full sack to Hutch, which I absolutely love. Marcus Davenport, props, man. He had a really good day today. He really had a good day today. He had a sack. It was a great move. I believe it was on Darnell Wright, arguably their best offensive lineman besides Joe Thuney. He was great in the run game as well today. He wasn't out there for that many pass rush downs, but when he was out there, he looked very good besides that sack as well. Got to rewatch the film, obviously. But, always buts, Davenport cannot stay healthy, man. Hutchinson was about to get a sack early in the game. Actually, another sack that Hutch about had. And Davenport was coming at him as well. It was a good pressure by Davenport, but Hutch was about to get there first. I think Williams got out of it. And Davenport jumped over Hutch to avoid a collision with his legs. And I don't know what happened. He was able to avoid the collision, but then he came down hard, left the game, went to the locker room with, I believe it was an ankle injury is what I think it was able to return to the game about half a quarter later. And then he got that sack, and the sack that he got was the play that he got hurt again. He ended up hurting I think it was a shoulder injury. He did not come back until very late in the game. I believe mid-fourth quarter, he came in, played a couple of final snaps. So that is good to see. Dan Campbell said we'll see tomorrow on Marcus Davenport's injury, which leaves me optimistic, which I don't know if I like that or not. Davenport declined any health issue or injury update news in his presser after the game. So that's not great, man. That's not great. It's for me, Marcus Davenport, again, his talent is there. And again, the Marcus Davenport bet is looking good right now, depending on his injuries. Now played 2 full games of 6. He needs 6. He's now played 2 of those, and he needs 7+ sacks on the season. He now has 1 full sack, so he only needs 6 more full sacks, and he only needs 4 more full games on the season for me to buy an NFL shot Marcus Davenport jersey. We'll see if he can do it, but if this ends up being a bad injury, then there goes that bet. But Marcus Davenport, again, his talent is there. It's just, can he stay healthy, man? And again, he proved that he cannot today, depending on those injuries. But it's the thing with him, man. If he makes any sort of big contact with the ground or with an offensive lineman, he's getting hurt. That's just the thing with him, man. Anybody else to highlight out here? Mekhi Wingo played his first game of the season coming back from his torn ACL last season. Played quite a bit today. Didn't love what I saw from him, though. Mick Robertson played pretty decent today. Stewart and Maddox came in there late when all the backups came in, looked okay. Anybody else here? Monty Rice was elevated from practice squad, made a nice special team tackle, but also had I believe it was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty as well. It was a penalty. I know it was a penalty on him early in the game. I just don't know what it was. I think it was unsportsmanlike conduct. Tyreek Williams doesn't have any tackles here, but he played a great day today. Had 2 PBUs. Pass breakups, great day by Tyreek Williams. I thought he was very good in the run game, very improved from last week as well. Pass rush, he still needs to get better at in the pass rush game, but in the run game and in the pass, I don't even know how to word this. While Caleb Williams was throwing the ball, had 2 passes deflected. So, I mean, he was actually pretty decent in the pass game, but pass rush needs to work on it. But he looked great today. He lived up to his... He looked like a first-round pick today. I'll just put it that way. He looked like a first-round pick today. Stewart had the ball twice coming out. Looked pretty decent on both runs. Jake Bates missed a 55-yard field goal. I had a feeling he was going to miss it. I don't know what it was. Jack Fox was pretty good today on 3 punts. Onto the Bears side of the ball, just run through this. Williams did not have a good day today, in my opinion, when you watch the film. 19 for 30, 207, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He had a couple good first drives on the day, and then he just turned into not a good quarterback. Tyson Bagent came in late in the game, played okay. DeAndre Swift was probably the best other player on offense besides Rome Odunze. 12 for 63, 5.2 and a touchdown. Kyle Monangai, their 7th-round rookie, 7 for 24. Came in the game late. Looked okay. Caleb Williams had 5 for 27. Rome Odunze, 8 us alive, 7 for 128, 2 touchdowns. He also had a couple drops in there, so he would have had a lot more. Probably would have had 150 receiving yards if he didn't drop 2 of the balls. So thank you, Rome Odunze, for that. DJ Moore, a little decent day, 5 for 46. Cole Kmet, 2 for 29. Olamide Zaccheaus, 2 for 12. Swift was almost non-existent in the pass game, 3 for 6. Monangai had 1 for 8. The very talented rookie, Luther Burden, had only 1 for 5. In their first round, 10th overall pick, Colson Loveland had 0 catches on 1 target. So Colson Loveland has not had a great debut yet. Well, has not had a great start with the Bears yet. But I think for sure Luther Burden has not had a great start with the Bears either. But I think both those guys are going to turn around, specifically Luther Burden. I think Luther Burden's going to end up being a dog. It's just a matter of when will that come. Defense side of the ball, they did not have a turnover. They did not have a sack. Nobody on their defense side of the ball had a good day today. Nobody. Jalen Johnson left the game, got hurt, did not return. Don't know what the injury is, but that's about it. Luther Burden was very good on their kick return game. Our special teams is still not great today. Obviously, we're missing 2 of our best special teamers in Nowaski and Vaki today, but still needs to improve. On to the team stats and wrap this game up. Total yards, 511 to the Bears, 339. 205 passing yards for the Bears to 334 for the Lions. Rushing yards, 134 for the Bears, 177 for the Lions. Yards per play, 5.3 for the Bears to the Lions, 8.8. 25 first downs for the Lions, 19 for the Bears. 7 for 13 on third down efficiency for the Bears. We went 4 for 10, so they actually went better there than us, which is surprising. Fourth down efficiency, they went for it twice. The Bears went for it twice. We stopped them back-to-back times on a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and inches. We stopped them on Caleb Williams' quarterback sneak twice. And Tyreek Williams made a big impact on both of those. Again, he looked very good today, Tyreek Williams. We went 1 for 1. Total play, 64 for the Bears, 58 for the Lions. 4 sacks allowed for the Bears. Love to see that. 0 for the Lions. Yes, let me talk about the offensive line before I forget about it. It looked like it did last year. Taylor Decker was able to play through the injury today. Played very good. Mahogany looked way better today. Glasgow played his best game in a long time, in my opinion, today. Got to rewatch the film, but initial thoughts, played his best game he's played for us in a long time, arguably maybe since the 2023 season. And Ratledge looked very improved as well today. Had one rep right in love, but besides that, he made his assignments and stuff like that, and blocking was way improved today. Sewell also had a much better game today, returned to his old self. And fumbles lost, punts. 4 for the Bears, 3 for the Lions. 2 of those came, though, late in the game for the Lions. Penalties, 8 for 50 for the Bears, 3 for 28 for the Lions. Fumbles lost, 1 for the Bears. Then it was a forced fumble by Brian Branch. 0 for the Lions. Interceptions thrown, 1 for the Bears. Should have been 2 by Caleb Williams. 0 for the Lions. Time possession, 29 minutes and 40 seconds for the Bears, and 30 minutes and 20 seconds for the Lions. So the Lions move to 1-1 on the season. They will face the Baltimore Ravens next season. The Bears fall to 0-2. They will face Dallas at Soldier Field next week. Now, great game by the Detroit Lions. They looked like their 2024 self. This has been arguably our best performance, I don't know, since Jacksonville last season. It was a great performance. Great performance. Now, I'll tell you right now, I still think Baltimore beats us next week. Obviously, I'm putting a chip on the shoulder for the Detroit Lions. Putting the Detroit Lions as underdogs is not a good thing to ever do typically. So, I still think we lose next week, but I feel much more comfortable. It's not a matter of fact that they got a better roster than us. It's not a matter of fact that they got a better offense than us. It's not a matter of fact that they got a better defense than us. It's just, I don't think we can contain Lamar, man. I'm not worried about Derrick Henry. I'm not worried about Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman or 35-year-old DeAndre Hopkins. Not worried about any of that. Or 32-year-old Mark Andrews. Not worried about Kyle Van Noy on the defensive side of the ball. Or Odafe Owe or anything like that. Kyle Hamilton. I am just concerned about specifically Lamar Jackson. Obviously, those guys are great players, and they're going to make that game be close, but Lamar is the main factor. We have not been able to, under Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, maintain a good running quarterback in their tenure. I mean, we really wasn't able to do it during the Patricia or Jim Caldwell. I don't really want to say Jim Caldwell, though, but specifically during the Patricia era as well. We've just never been good against the run, and Lamar is as good as they come. Best in NFL history, in my opinion. Better Michael Vick and all that. Randall Cunningham. So, I don't think we're going to be able to contain it. But probably make some videos throughout the week here, just talking about how we can beat Baltimore and what it's going to take. And I'll probably make a Marcus Davenport injury update video, depending on the severity of it. And one pride, go Lions. That's all I got to say, man. Next week is going to be an absolute juggernaut. It's on Monday Night Football. We do not play on Sunday next week. It is on Monday Night Football. So look forward to that. One pride. Go Lions. On to Baltimore, where we very well could start the season in 1-2. But keep in mind, we did start the season 1-1 last year. We lost to week 2 to Tampa. And we ended up bouncing back after that. So next week's going to be a very close game. I do think right now Baltimore will beat us, but we'll see. One pride. Go Lions. What a performance today. And shout out to John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. They coached out of their minds today. We'll just see if they can keep it up now, specifically John Morton. One pride, Go Lions. Pray to God Marcus Davenport's injury is okay.